Good evening, and thank you, Madam President and trustees. It's my honor to give a superintendent update. We are in the midst of week 3. Today is day 11 and of the 23-24 school year. The great opportunity to stop in yesterday at Lawton Elementary, got to meet Cooper, their therapy dog, and visit some classrooms. Things are going well. Our students and our teachers, our staff and our family are settled into the rhythms and routines of the school year. It's just amazing to me how quickly our students fall right in with their teachers, and it looks like they've been there for quite a long time, and it's really just the beginning. These are good back-to-school fall days. This week, we are engaged in curriculum nights. Trustees, those dates are all over the place. Here on Monday night, and our high schools and elementary schools, middle schools are moving through this next few days. We have big crowds out into our schools. It's great to see students, staff, and families together for curriculum nights and learning together. We feel excitement about the opportunities that come up in the fall, many athletic and enrichment activities. I don't want to play favorites, but I did hear that Huron had a big football win, and so there are great special events coming up, fall carnivals, fun runs, and more. I want to share a special thank you to our students, teachers, support staff, and principals, to our parents and families in our Ann Arbor community. Everyone has worked together to launch a successful back to school in Ann Arbor Public Schools this fall. It is a huge effort, and I'm grateful to everyone who has helped us to strengthen our practice of dignity, belonging, and well-being. Those are the 3 legs to the stool this year, and we feel that and think about that and work to practice dignity, belonging, and well-being for every child on every day. We have our enrollment into our buildings. I believe we are really leveling out with enrollment, trustees. We will do the audited report, as you all are well aware, in December. But I just wanted to share a preview that we're delighted to see solid student enrollment and attendance at every building in the district. Our schools have remained fairly consistent overall in their enrollment. Huron is up some. We're especially excited to share that this incoming cohort of Y5 kinders is approximately 1,500 students, and that brings us consistent with last year and really significantly up. Trustees, you recall we had dipped during the COVID pandemic, as districts across the country did. So we were excited to see that strong. They are the class of 2036, and they've just started with us, 1,500 members strong. Staffing is a concern, and I appreciated the commentary from those who've joined us this evening. We are focused on completing those staffing efforts across the system. It is normal year over year that we would continue to be hiring some in September and October as we see the numbers in each grade level. But I will share with you that we are continuing to struggle in particular areas, and I'll be sharing some more of that information, trustees, and with our community so that we can continue to work to bring our staffing to 100%. I was delighted to share, to hear at Lawton, for example, yesterday they had a last-minute opening come up after school was open, a resignation, and immediately were able to find a winning candidate to go right into that opening. So folks are really doing kind of heroic work to ensure that we are fully staffed. Trustees, recent increases in our wages place us in a better and more attractive position in terms of staffing. And yet we know we need to continue to do more work across all of those areas, all of our positions to ensure. One particular area that I'll talk about more in a special ed section of this update is unmet staffing needs in special education positions across hourly roles such as paraeducators, also before and after care. We continue to work to take additional steps to ensure that we are 100% staffed. I know Mr. Randall and the team in HR are busy every day working on this, and we are all working on our team to support the effort. It does appear that the shift we've made in the past 2 years to year-round recruiting, we are no longer seasonal in that effort. It is full court press year round. It appears that that will continue to be our new normal in ensuring that our buildings and our classrooms are fully staffed. We've left that older traditional educational year model. I want to focus in on paraeducator roles. Our paraeducators serve a valued an important role in student support success, and this remains a continuing area of critical shortage. Our Office of Special Education team has carefully put together a year-long plan with our paraeducators, listening to them to ensure that they have ongoing connection and professional learning opportunities in response to their specific answers to survey questions and the needs that they've expressed of training that they would like to have to do their jobs better. A major shift lies in fully including these team members with additional pay in our staff members and our staff meetings and after school curricula design efforts and things that they would like to be a part of. On the recruitment and retention side, we are working with our HR team to address areas of high need and incentivizing the hiring and the retaining. We look forward to sharing more of these details soon, and I want to give a shout out to our employee group leaders who have been at the table just over the previous week. We hadn't anticipated it, but we're at the table problem solving around these areas of critical need, and I just want to thank you for that work. We know we cannot be 100% until we are 100% staffed and supported, so we continue to work on that. The Office of Special Education has welcomed the cohort 1 of our EMU Paraeducator Teacher Certification Program. Trustees, you recall we have 4 cohorts in progress now, and our cohort 1 is to the phase of student teaching, which is that final phase of teacher certification. So by spring, we will have wonderful, newly certificated teacher candidates from this Paraeducator Teacher Certification Program. I want to give a shout out to those paraeducators. Trustees, you've met some of them, and I want to give a shout out to their student teachers who are doing that work to ensure that we're going to be in better shape in the long run. Paraeducator SAT Paul Goyal is an accomplished and very published author. He has been highlighted recently and with his published poems, and you have that link in your update, trustees, if you'd like to go take a look. There he is. This past year, we shared in the spring about Pioneer High School student Lawrence Robuste, who was on his way to the World Special Olympics Games in Berlin. Trustees, you remember meeting meeting this young man by video last spring. And I just wanted to give a report out that in addition to all of his state of Michigan successes, Lawrence also obliterated his own personal record every time he raced in Berlin during the summer. It's an extremely impressive feat for any athlete. In the 100 meters, his previous personal record was 13.08 seconds, and he ran a World Games time of 12.84. So he really blew his own record out of the water. Yay! Thank you, guys. Likewise, his 200-meter personal best of 26.52 seconds was eclipsed by his own World Games time of 25.50, and there he is. As a member of the U.S. 4x100 relay team, Lawrence and the team accomplished fifth place finish. I also want to point out that Lawrence was competing in the World Games against athletes who were between 5 and 10 years his senior. So all of these accomplishments are even more special because he was really working against others who have a lot more experience. I also wanted to highlight this evening exceptional teacher DeMarko Thurman, who was highlighted this week in our AAPS district news. DeMarko Thurman is one of our A2 virtual teachers. Here he is. And Principal Anthony Lauer shares DeMarko's leadership style and passion for online learning is evident in his approach to supporting teachers, students, and families. His tireless work ethic as an A2 virtual summer term principal does not go unnoticed by the over 800 students who take their summer courses through A2 virtual. I wanted to share a district health and well-being update. The well-being is our foundational theme and work for the year. The first of 4 early release days this year. The sessions will be focused on staff well-being, and that will take place in a couple of weeks on September 27th. Jenna Bacalor and Bill Harris are leading this effort, and they trained us right here in this building yesterday, trustees, to get us ready for that first session with our building staffs on September 27th. They are using the Office of the Surgeon General's framework for workplace mental health and well-being and CASEL and adult SEL competencies. So I want to point out that this is not feel-good work. It is actually based in research around workplace mental health and well-being. I meant to link in the link to that, and I will do so after the meeting, trustees, so you can see the cool work that's going on there. The 23-24 COVID guidance for students and staff is posted on the district website. Just a reminder that Washtenaw County Health Department, per the requirements, we are continuing to monitor. We're required to monitor. It's not our decision. It is the county requirement. Student and staff case reports frequently to detect potential outbreaks early. Masking can be deployed when there are clusters or outbreaks. School nurses continue to support our building staff, students, and parents with COVID questions and recommendations. The school health team has also updated this important document. It's over here also is when to keep your child home from school. Everyone's back in our schools together, curriculum nights, and as you would expect, it is a time when folks are a little more vulnerable being mixing together. So we just want to remind how important it is to practice safe health with regard to making that critical decision about whether your child will be in school. We want to keep everyone as healthy as possible this year. I just want to share that for fall 23, before and after care is available in 11 of our elementary school communities: Abbott, Allen, Angel, Burns Park, Carpenter, King, Lakewood, Lawton, Mitchell, and Pittsfield. Pittsfield, that aftercare is available with a shuttle over to Allen and also at Wines. We have about 202 students enrolled in aftercare, about 88 students enrolled in before care. I will point out that there is some overlap in those two groups. And we have awarded so far 44 full scholarships and fee waivers for that before and after program. So we're very grateful for that work. We've retained about 25 supervisors, assistants, and high school aftercare assistants from last year. And we've been successful, trustees, in hiring 7 additional staff. We continue to interview and hire with the hope of continuing to add more programs. We're above half of about 60% of our locations are now staffed and open. We are determined to continue to 100%. So send us great candidates so we can continue that work. Really appreciate Ms. Nancy Shore and the strategic partnerships and community engagement work. The Stuff the Bus effort was wildly successful. Donations included hundreds of binders, backpacks, writing utensils, glue erasers, paper markers, crayons, pencils, and more. We all know the tremendous difference it makes for students to be able to have those extra things in the classrooms the district provides, but also to have additional is a really big deal for our students, particularly in those areas where we have higher impact, and that's important. I wanted to share that we are delighted to welcome back our nearly 70 district level strategic partners to our schools. And this year, the Strategic Partnership Office created a guide for strategic partners to help our partners continue to work effectively with our students in schools. The guide contains information on district programs, community resources, policies and protocols, resources for learning, and an overview of key district initiatives. We have a special community where partners, corporate, nonprofit, higher ed partners come in and help us. And thanks to all of you strategic partners out there. Be sure to stay up to date with all of our work. You can see us on Twitter at A2 Schools and at A2 Schools Super, on Facebook at Ann Arbor Public Schools. Our A2 Schools podcast will be launching for the fall here soon. And we are also on the YouTube channel, AAPS, Ann Arbor Public Schools YouTube channel. I want to spend just a few minutes dedicating some updates and notes around special education so that we can note with our trustees and with our community next steps that we are taking now to ensure the provision for students served on an IEP in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. As you could hear this evening in public commentary, we continue to hear and experience concerns shared in the area of special education. We've heard these as we have this evening through our listen and learn conversations in the spring from our parents and staff, and we hear them every day in the course of our day-to-day work. I do want to note that I'm not referencing in this update this evening the Carpenter situation. We have made a comment. We have published a comment on that situation that folks can access, but we are working with a more general update this evening. As we know, with regard, trustees, to student mental health and well-being, I will add student and staff and family mental health and well-being with areas around our academic achievement. Special ed is one of about 5 areas that emerged on the Listen and Learn tour, and we were already hearing it throughout the previous year. It's an area that was a concern before this previous 3 years of challenge. And it's an area like a few others where the situations that we experience have been exacerbated during this time. So trustees, we recognize, we embrace, we face these challenges. I feel like we have the ingredients necessary to continue to work on these challenges and to face the challenges to ensure that our students are well served. The work of attending to specialized learning needs has been complicated in really 2 ways. One, by escalated frequency and level of needs among students. That's no surprise, but as our commenters said this evening, it is important to say it and to recognize it. An increase in level and number of students involved with high-level needs, and it also has been exacerbated by a critical shortage in highly specialized staffing to meet these student needs. I do understand that there's a perception in Ann Arbor that we should not ever experience a shortage in staffing, and yet in every one of our special needs classrooms, teachers are required, in order for us to have them in that classroom, to have a very specialized certificate that exactly matches the needs of the students in that classroom and their IEPs. So I don't want folks to underestimate the challenge that is involved in specialized in ensuring strong staffing in these classrooms. Service and support systems continue to be pressed to meet the demands of both the level and the nature of the needs across our schools. Our laser focus is on then increasing the capacity in our system to be able to address the increased level of need and challenge. So we know what we must do, and we are doing that work this fall. Trustees, I want to be clear, we are not awaiting for other next steps that you may be taking. We continue to do this work every day. And so I want to share 5 areas that we are working on this fall, specifically in the area of special education. I have included in your update, and it is posted on board docs, all of the prior updates. There has been some confusion out in the community, so I've included all the links to all of those updates, and that is published so that everyone can see those prior updates. Our work and next steps in moving forward in our continuous improvement require that we take elevated, focused, and intentional steps to increase our organizational capacity in order to meet the challenges we face. We embrace this work, and we will take steps in the following 5 areas. We're not going to be limited to these areas, trustees. You'll be receiving regular updates throughout this fall, but I wanted to share with you right away in September 5 areas that we'll be working in. First, we want to prioritize, align, and enhance sufficient and quality staff. And when we say staffing now, in this challenging time, we refer to both attracting and also retaining quality staff, because our staff must feel supported or will not be able to retain them in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. So paraeducators, we continue to recruit alongside work to support our paraeducators to ensure that they feel valued as critical members of the team. We are working to align pay across critical areas of shortage to ensure that we are getting candidates through the door. Principals and teachers cannot cover every opening when we are short-staffed, so we are working very hard to ensure that we are fully staffed. Second area is communication. You will recall, trustees, that this has been an area, one of our 5 areas of focus in in previous special ed continuous improvement plans. We are working to have real-time communication with both parents and staff who have concerns, including the avenues that have been in place, and that is with our assistant director contact information. Their phone numbers are published, but also establishing, and we've had this, but we're going to renew it because I think that our parents and folks may not remember, but ensuring that email hotline where folks, if they're not getting an answer from their school, from their director, from whomever, they have a specific question, we'll be publishing that place where they can email to get a more responsive answer and to get connected right away. We don't want issues to linger, and we want to make sure that folks have timely responses. A third area that we're working in this fall, and I'm very grateful, we have some members in the audience who were a part of this in a prior iteration. Trustees, you may recall that we had month over month meetings with a work team where we met every month, and I learned every month from our rank and file team leads in special education. We're going to be launching that for this 23-24 school year, but trustees, this picture will even be a little wider. And if our teams can help us, I know they're very busy, but we want to include teacher reps, principal reps, our lead reps, and have a group that is a work team, task force style group where we can check in on the progress of our coordination, clarification, update, communication, and next steps on the system and on how the system is working, process and protocols that need to be attended to. We will do that regularly throughout this 23-24 school year. I am delighted to renew and upgrade that task force group. It was one of the strong efforts we've had in the past and will be even stronger this year. We're going to continue our parent partnership and engagement. I know that our Ms. Dawn Linden and our special ed team meet every month with the board of APAC. I have met with them quarterly as well. They are also a part of those monthly meetings, and I will remind folks that that hour before the monthly APAC meeting continues to be an open forum for parents. Even now that APAC meetings have been in Zoom, they still do the assistant director hour from 6 to 6:50 or so. And trustees, if you're not aware of that, any parent can come and they can go to a breakout room with an assistant director to address questions or any issues that may have come up during the month. That prime time hour has been well attended over the years, but we want to renew that and make sure our parents remember that they have that as one more opportunity to connect with our team and to get their questions answered. The fifth area I want to highlight this evening is we will continue to provide consistent updates to our team, with our team, to the board, and to our community. As we heard in public commentary this evening, this is not a quick fix. We want to do this properly and do it on an in-depth level. Consistent updates will be shared so that everyone, all of our stakeholders, are updated on the ongoing work to continue to increase organizational capacity and problem solving, to improve quality service, and to ensure that we are meeting the needs, no matter how great they are, of all of our students served on an IEP in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I'm grateful for your partnership and support to continue to support our students, staff, and schools, this beautiful Ann Arbor Public Schools. I thank you, trustees, for the honor of serving the Ann Arbor Public Schools and to share this superintendent update this evening. As always, I'll be pleased to take your questions, and thank you for this opportunity.